All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. My name is John, and I play the bass on cruise ships. Right now, I'm on the lovely Norwegian Prima, and we are in Geiranger, Norway. I think I'm saying that right. It's a very beautiful small town here in Norway, deep in the fjords. And yeah, I've got the day off, and I wanted to take this opportunity to answer some of your questions that I got from my last video on life on board and getting the gig. So I want to thank you all for leaving your questions in the comments section. It was great, and I'm going to do my best to answer them here. So let's dive right in, shall we? Okay. So I got a couple questions on sight reading. When you say sight reading, do you mean reading music? And is the music standard notation or is it tab as well? It's always standard notation. I don't think I've ever received tab on this job. So yeah, standard notation. And Jackson Morris, 3491 asks, as someone who has never went to school for bass, how do I go about learning sight reading? That's a great question. I would say if you already know how to play the instrument and you're proficient on your instrument and you want to learn how to read, I would recommend getting like a book and reading it. You can get like a beginning band book and work your way through that. That's how I learned how to read. So, what I did when I wanted to learn how to read music, I went and I bought like these beginning band books. It was like Musical Excellence. There was a red book and a blue book. And so I got these books and I just started at the very beginning, page 1, and it was like whole notes, it's like E, and I worked through it, and it was like very simple songs like Hot Cross Buns and Mary Had a Little Lamb and things like this, but it allowed me to connect notes I already knew on the instrument with the dots on the page. And that's really important because you already know how to play your instrument. You just need to learn what it looks like on paper. And so the best way to do that is to just start practicing and to start at the very beginning. So yeah, go out and get one of these like beginning band books for like middle schoolers and spend a summer just working through it. I think I did it over a summer when I was in middle school, I think. And just like worked through these 2 books every day. Like I did like 1 or 2 pieces of music every day and just connected the dots. And then at the end of that, I could read. And then it's just repetition. So reading a lot and more regularly. So there are some good sight reading books out there. I have one by Yannick Gwizdala that I think is really good. I think it's called Bass Player's Guide to Sight Reading, and it has a lot of just like short etudes in it that you can read, and then just like the trick to sight reading is you have to do it all the time and you have to read new music all the time. So any music you can get your hand on, just read it. And so, yeah, that's how I would say to build that skill without going to school. Because you definitely don't need to go to school to learn to read. I think that you can learn it you can learn it in a few months if you just practice it every day. And then if you practice it every day for a year or two, get it you'll get it really together. Um, Most of the reading that you do on ships is not it's not super note heavy. It's not classical music. You're not reading um, Bach. You know, it's a lot of like chord changes and rhythms and some slash notation. So a lot of it is like decoding what the chart is trying to tell you. So really just like learning rhythms, the common rhythmic ideas, and implementing that. So it's really not super hard. It sounds more intimidating than it really is. Um, I've seen guys come through the gig. There are plenty of guys that do this gig, guys and girls that do this gig that don't read or couldn't read when they got the job, and they're fine. So if you want to do it, you can do it. Um, Thanks for your question. Are there Cynthia with love asks, are there any harpists on the ship? Thanks for your question, Cynthia. I've never seen a harpist, but that doesn't mean there couldn't be one. A harp would be a really unique instrument to have on board, and so I think if you play the harp and this is something you want to do, then you should go ahead and send an audition tape in with one of the agencies, because if you're proficient and you've got a lot of repertoire, if you can play 3 to 4 hours of music a night every day for 6 months, then go for it. Louise Gardella says, "Hi, dude." Hi, Louise. Thanks for commenting, man. How you doing? Louise and I worked together on the Viva. He was playing Beetlejuice, and I was playing Sid Norman's. Louise is a great drummer, and it's nice to see you here on the internet, man. Cheers. Ian Dinerstein, I hope I'm saying that right, says, "Hi, John. Thanks for the video. Very useful." You're welcome. Thanks for watching. I'm a classical pianist and would like to apply to one of these gigs. Should I maybe focus more on other genres like rock or jazz? Is a degree necessary for passing the audition? Cheers. Ian, thanks for the question. As a classical pianist, I don't know that it's necessary for you to focus on other styles of music. On Norwegian, most of the musicians are more like pop or R&B, or rock oriented, but Norwegian's a pretty relaxed cruise line. I know there are others that are more formal. I think like Cunard can be more formal. Like the Queen Mary is a very like traditional ship, and so there I'm sure classical music would be more than welcome, especially like strictly classical music. But that's not to say you couldn't have it here. I've definitely seen pianists that some ships have just like a piano bar. So I think it depends on the cruise line. And it never hurts to send an audition tape in. So, if you're interested, I would say reach out to one of the many agencies out there. Landau Music, Lime Entertainment, Pro Ship, Suman, all these guys contract with all the cruise lines. So that's what I would recommend, because I'm sure there's a job for you. But it never hurts to learn more music. So if you want to learn rock or pop, I'm all for it. Vincent Price 1041 says, I filled a vacancy as a drummer in a band in '84. Played Vegas showrooms and cruise ships. Most recorded music cues weren't allowed because of the musicians union. So we toured with magicians, dancers, acrobats, and stand-up comics like a vaudeville troupe. We played full sets of R&B, rock, review shows, and all the cues and music during the specialty acts. I was paid $800 a week. and sent every penny home. It was my first job out of high school, and I wasn't even allowed to step foot on the casino carpet. It was the experience of a lifetime. Have a blast and enjoy everything on your journeys. Cheers. Thanks for the comment. Um, yeah, there's a lot of really interesting information in here. Um, I can say that there are plenty of recorded music cues these days, and the musicians union is non-existent here at sea. Um, we play full sets of R&B and rock review shows. Yeah, that's pretty common. That's very similar to what I do now, and there are a lot of people that play for jugglers and comedians and acrobats in like the show band gigs. So I've done that. That's super common still. I was paid $800 a week. That's in 1984. $800 a week in 1984. I mean, that's very similar to what we make now. I make a little more than $800 a week, but I mean, the purchasing power has been degraded. So that's really interesting. I mean, that just goes to show that over the last 40 years, that pay out here really hasn't kept up with inflation. I think $800 in 1984 is like $2,000 today. So, wow.
Yo, Editor John here. I want to pop in because I just noticed that there was one more question that I didn't answer in the video that I want to get to now. This cat asks, hey man, do the agencies pay for your bags during the flights? Because I think I would have extra baggage because of the instruments like a guitar. This is an excellent question and one that I wish I knew the answer to when I started. My agency, yes, they pay for the extra baggage. So when I fly, they give me usually two checked pieces of luggage that the company pays for in the airline. And so that's my suitcase 1 and my suitcase 2. And then I bring my bass, and I always check my bass. A lot of guys carry it on. I check mine. And either way, a lot of times you have an extra piece of luggage and it's your instrument. And the company, in my experience, the company always reimburses you for your instrument fees. So I check it. It's like an extra $100 to $150. Keep the receipt. When you get on the ship, you give the receipt to finance and the company will pay you back. They also will reimburse you for your any food you pay for on the day of your travel between like airport to airport. So if you buy a meal at the airport, if you buy a coffee at the airport, keep all of those receipts. And when you get on board, give them to finance and the company will reimburse you up to the allotted amount. It's usually like $25 a day. So I wish I knew that before coming in. I have also bought a ticket for my instrument and put the bass like in the seat next to me, and the company reimbursed me part of the ticket price. I think they gave me back like $150. That was like their luggage allotment. Also, sometimes they'll forget to buy your baggage when they buy your ticket. And so then you pay for your luggage and you have to keep all those receipts. And when you get to the ship, you give it to them and they'll reimburse you. So it's super important. I can't stress this enough. Hold on to your receipts. I keep a folder with me when I travel that all my receipts go in. And yeah. So they'll reimburse you for your luggage. They'll reimburse you for your instrument. You need your instrument to do your job. The company will pay for it. That's been my experience. Keep your receipts. Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. Those are the questions. So yeah, I hope that is helpful and answers your questions. If you're interested in doing the job, I would, just encourage you to apply. They're always looking for musicians, and so it never hurts to send an audition tape in. There are a number of agencies you can work for. I work with Landau Music. Like I said, there's Lime, there's ProShip, Suman, um, and they all work with different companies. So um, I would just start like reaching out to all of them, which is kind of what I did. And then I just worked with the first one that offered me a job. So, cast a wide net. It's like a funnel. Jack Conte talks about this. Everything in life is a funnel. And so if you send out a lot of applications, you got a wide funnel. And then as you audition more and you pass some auditions and you don't pass other auditions, at the bottom, there's more likely to get a job because of the funnel. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.